Today we're going to talk about some interior design trends that are making you look a little bit older than you actually are. Yes, we're talking about some interior design trends that are dated. If you're walking into your home and you suddenly feel like you're living 300 years in the past, we have a problem. But I'm going to tell you how to fix it in today's video, so let's get into it. Now, before we jump into it, this is not a video saying that if you are having elements of things past in your home now, that your home is dated. That is far from the truth. Everything that is popular now was popular once before. There is rarely something original. We're talking about arches, we're talking about plaster, we're talking about all these architectural details that are really trendy right now. Those things are cool, right? Those things are amazing, and they're also old. So old doesn't have to mean dated. By dated, we mean they're looking a little bit old, they're looking a little bit run down, they're not looking as curated as we would like them to look. So we're gonna really break that down in today's video. So we're gonna set our egos aside. Me too. We're gonna set our egos aside, repeat that back to yourself, and jump into today's video. So the first interior design trend that is fairly dated is the tiled countertop. So you can see a tiled countertop very often in a bathroom, but they also exist in kitchens as well. So if you don't know what a tiled countertop is, it just means like, you know, like a subway tile or just like a square tile that you might see on a shower wall, but on a countertop. Now, there are many issues with this. I don't necessarily think that it looks wrong. This video is not about me saying, hey, this is ugly. Who am I to say what looks ugly in your house? I don't live there. My opinion is absolutely irrelevant. And for whoever is saying that their opinion is relevant, they're wrong. But what I'm saying is that these tile countertops are impossible to clean. They're impossible to clean because you're just adding more grout lines to the situation. And if you're saying, oh, grout's super easy to clean, I want you to go look at a picture of your shower when you first moved into the home, and then I want you to go look at it right now. You will see that your grout has yellowed or it has grayed and it is looking pretty crusty, and crusty is the best adjective I could come up with, and it is the perfect description for this circumstance. So you're seeing this, but on your kitchen countertops or on your bathroom countertops. And think about how often we stand in the kitchen or how often we stand at the countertop. We stand at these places more than we even use the shower. So these countertops are going to be even more run down. So they're going to look dated because they are quite literally run down, and they show all of the wear and tear from years and years and years. And even if you get on your hands and knees and you scrub that grout like your life depends on it, it still probably won't look that good because grout is difficult to maintain. And so unless you have perfect grout lines, which maybe you do, like, congratulations, it's just going to look dated. It's going to look dated. You've just made something really difficult for yourself. The other thing that happens with tile countertops is they do crack very often. I'm not sure why, because one of the really good benefits of tile is that it does actually, it holds weight well, which is why you rarely actually see like a solid slab of marble or solid slab of anything on the bottom of your shower floor, but we'll talk about that in another video. But if you get a crack in this, it is very apparent, and that dates it even more, and you can't really repair the crack. It's just very in your face. It's super dated. This is not a design trend that anyone really intentionally chooses anymore. So the fact that it is still in your house kind of dates you, and if you are choosing it, it just is going to make your home look older as a result of the natural wear and tear. It's not on you, it's just actually existing in your home, right? Because we want a home that we can actually live in. So maybe stay away from this design trend. Now, this one is pretty controversial, but the next design trend that I think should be dated or is very dated is the bed skirt. So our bed skirt is very practical, yes. So if you don't know what a bed skirt is, it is a skirt for your bed. That is it. It goes around the base of your bed and it prevents you from seeing underneath the bed. So if you have a bed that is raised up off the floor and there's a lot of air underneath or space underneath, you're not seeing all the dust bunnies like getting around, like hanging out, having a party, right? Great. So if you're not dusting underneath, nobody has to know. That is the benefit of the bed skirt. Now, the problem with the bed skirt, and we'll get into why it's dated in a second, but let me talk the way I like to talk, okay? So the problem with the bed skirt is all that dusting that you're not doing. When the dust builds up, the bed skirt itself gets dusty, and I think that that looks even worse because the dust bunnies are hidden under the bed. But when the bed skirt itself gets dusty, it just does not look very good. But why is the bed skirt dated? Because the bed skirt is associated with more traditional beds and more traditional interior design, and more traditional interior design was just a lot more popular a number of years ago, because there are a lot more design styles now that people gravitate towards more so than just very strict traditional or transitional design. So we don't see bed skirts as often, because in other design styles, you'll see a platform bed, which just does not require a bed skirt, or you will see a bed that has like a fully upholstered frame, which does not require a bed skirt, right? So bed skirts only really work for a select kind of bed, which really narrows you in a design style, and that design style itself just happens to be fairly dated. Now, do I dislike the bed skirt? Should it be written off forever? No, because it does have a practical use. It helps, hide all of the mess you have under your bed, because let's face it, a lot of us use our underbed space for storage, and you should continue to do so. I just think that maybe this is not anything you can do, so I don't know how helpful this is gonna be, but the manufacturers of our beds and our headboards, they can do a better job at coming out with bed skirts that match the headboards they're manufacturing, because they'll give me a navy blue headboard, but there is no coordinating bed skirt to kind of make it look like it is a uniform bed, right? They're like, oh, just go get the generic white bed skirt. Okay, but the white doesn't match anything. You're making it very apparent that this is not like a set sort of situation. So this is not a you problem, this is a manufacturer problem. I cannot call up the CEO of Walmart to like have this beef with them, but if I could, know that I would go to bat for you. The next dated design trend is kind of a funny one, because I do enjoy it, but I do understand that it's dated. It is the chalkboard wall. So if you don't know what a chalkboard wall is, it is a wall that is made out of chalkboard, but not just a wall that you put a chalkboard on. You use chalkboard paint to create this wall. And you see these very often in kids' rooms, but you also see them in like the traditional like hipster space, which again, I don't know why hipsters get such bad raps. What does it matter? If they want to be a hipster, what does it have to do with you? Nothing at all. So the reason why it is dated is because it was just very, very trendy in like the early 2000s or like the 2010s. I'm saying that like that was so long ago. That was not long ago at all, but it's still dated. Everybody had this chalkboard. Everyone had this chalkboard wall where you could draw on it. Your mom would put up the menu full of the food, but then you guys would just end up going to Olive Garden, because Olive Garden is the best, which is totally okay, because like moms work too hard and like it's okay for them to not cook all the meals. But anyway, everyone had this, and it was just so overdone that now it's dated because nobody wants it. When trends are so overdone, they kind of just get canceled, and I think that is one of the cases here. Now, if I'm being honest, I think there is an opportunity to reclaim the chalkboard wall. And the way you can do this is, I think, would be to use it in a space that isn't a child's space, right? Because I think we only saw this maybe in kitchens or in a child's room. What about in a living room? What about in a dining room? You can also remember that you can use chalkboard and chalk and make it permanent, right? You can seal it and get the texture that you get from chalk, because I love the look of chalk. I love the texture. I love the dimension you can create with chalk, but seal it so that you have a permanent piece of art made out of chalk, but it's not ever changing and you don't have the chalk dust everywhere, because that is such a pain. So I think that's actually where we can revive this dated trend and make it popular again in a way that would be cool. But I don't know, it's dated, but it's only dated because it was heavily overdone. Now this next design trend, I don't even think I need to talk about it for it to be on this list. So let's just say plaid. Plaid is dated because it's plaid. Plaid is the answer. Plaid is dated because plaid became so crucial to culture. Plaid was like the hallmark of American culture for absolutely no reason. It was just overdone. You had a plaid blanket on top of a plaid sofa with plaid wallpaper. It was just like a whole lot of plaid. Very overdone, very overwhelming. Do I still love plaid? Yes, I just think not everything has to match, but that also has to do with the matchiness that has made it onto every single dated trend list every YouTuber has ever made. So, I mean, it kind of goes with that, but I think plaid is one of those things that really just rubs people the wrong way. But I love plaid. I think just using it on all of your surfaces is something that is totally dated, because it just gives you like too much like cabin in the woods vibes. That is not how I would like to go out. So I would not like anything that reminds me of that in my home. So we're moving on. Now, this next trend that is very dated is the glass brick or the glass block. If you don't know what it is basically the glass brick that made up those really groovy windows, right? Groovy is the best way to describe them. They're the windows that you'd see like in a bathroom or sometimes like in a room divider in a home. And basically they were glass, but you could not see through them completely. So they gave you some privacy. you know, you could make out the shapes, but you couldn't make out like the details, right? So that was the benefit there. But it was kind of like a magnifying glass from what I remember. It kind of made everything look bigger, and I didn't love that. I think that they're just quite an eyesore, and they're dated because they're really popular and then they're not popular at all now. Like, I've not seen one contemporary building or one contemporary residence with this integrated into the design. I do, of course, like the look of a brick. I think you could take these bricks and paint them like some really cool color. I love the shape. I love the texture. I just do not love that they are glass because they don't do what they are supposed to do. Now, am I saying that you should remove the glass bricks kind of like in your basements or stuff like that provide you privacy for going outside of your home? Absolutely not. I think that that is a waste of money. I think some of these things we should just let them be. It's really not that big of a deal if something's dated, right? But I think that if you have a big room divider made out of these glass bricks, like I said, let's upcycle it in some way to make it a little bit more contemporary, because again, it's a great feature. The execution of it just isn't really there. Since we were on the topic of glass bricks, I also want to talk about corner tubs because they kind of go hand in hand. So a corner tub is a tub that is in a corner of a bathroom, and they just give me bath fitter vibes. You guys remember bath fitter? Bath fitter. It's a perfect fit. Oh my gosh, the marketing of those brands during the early 2000s, incredible. What was that other company? 800-588-2300 Empire Today. What did they sell? Rugs? I have no idea what they sold, but I know how to get in touch. Wow, incredible. But those corner tubs just gave me bath fitter vibes. They just don't look sophisticated, and they're tucked away in the corner. The bathtub can be the star of the show. Bathrooms are so boring, right? Because all you do in there is you pee, you relieve yourself in other ways, and then you clean yourself, right? It has to be more exciting. The bathtub can be it, because the bathtub is where you go relax, you take a load off. Oh, the day was hard, I hate my job, but at least I get to take a bath. I can play with my rubber ducky, I can watch some Netflix, all from the comfort of my bath, right? Make the bath the star of the show. Also, when you're in the corner, you can't see anyone else. What if you want to see your partner in the shower, right? And talk to them while you're taking a shower? What if you want to see out the window? If it's in the corner, chances are you can't really see out of a window because you're tucked back in the corner. You want to put your bathtub front and center so you can see all that your home has to offer you. Do I appreciate that the corner tub was separate from the shower? Yes, because I think it's always great when we have the luxury of having the two separate, but I just didn't love what was going on there. I think that they are very dated, especially because of just like the very, very, very shiny plastic that happened to go with every single corner tub. Again, you don't have to get rid of them if you have them. It's okay. It's just like it's like a 70s jacuzzi vibe, right? Nothing wrong with that. Would I tell you to install one now though? Absolutely not. But if you have room in the budget to modify it, go right ahead, but they are very dated. The last dated design trend truly breaks my heart to admit, but it is my job to tell you the truth and not just tell you the things that I want to hear. So the last dated design trend is the ornate light fixture, right? The super ornate light fixtures, the super overwhelming light fixtures, they're just so visually distracting. When your light fixture is so big, I can't look at anything else. So if you spend $1 million on everything else, I can't look at that either. And okay, again, this is an interior design channel, so if you spent all this money on this stuff, there's something telling me you probably want me to look at that too. So don't distract me with one big thing if you want me to see everything. Also, these big light fixtures, they're kind of unnecessary because they tend to be really large and ornate and they don't give off very much light. You still have to add in some flush mounted lights, some puck lights, all that good stuff. Very, 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 very labor intensive for absolutely no reason. Just go with simple lights, right? You can actually see through the rooms better. They give off adequate light. They reinforce the design style in the rest of the home, but they don't overwhelm your sightline. And so everything is really nice and visually attractive and really easy on the eyes, just like you are. Okay, you guys, that's it for today's video. Those were 7 interior design trends that are dated. I'm sorry if I broke your heart in today's video. I hurt myself a little bit too, but it's my job to tell you the truth. What design trends do you think are dated? What design trends do you think are gonna make a comeback? Be sure to let me know down in the comments. If you liked today's video, please don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and check me out on Instagram. And until next time, have a beautiful day.